You know this moment. You just got home, you flop onto the couch, and your dog leaps up beside you wanting to snuggle. You lean in, wrap your arms around them, and then it hits you. That thick, musty, almost fermented smell. Sometimes it smells like old popcorn. Sometimes it smells like a damp towel that sat in the washer too long. Sometimes it's sharper, almost like vinegar gone bad. Whatever version of it you're dealing with, it clings to your clothes, your couch cushions, even your pillowcase after they sneak up for a nap. And so you do the thing every dog owner has been trained to do. You haul them to the tub, you lather them up with an expensive shampoo that smells like a spa, and for 2 glorious days, your house smells like eucalyptus and clean cotton. Then, almost on schedule, the odor crawls back in, sometimes worse than before. If that cycle sounds exhausting, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not failing as a pet owner. Your dog is not simply a smelly breed. There is a real physiological reason this keeps happening. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to shut it down without another dreaded bath day. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Ryan Scott, and welcome back to the channel where we take the guesswork out of your dog's health using both hard science and time-tested natural remedies. Today's topic is a big one, so get comfortable, maybe grab a notebook, because we're covering the full anatomy of chronic dog odor, from what's actually happening on a cellular level to the exact kitchen and pantry remedies that fix it at the root. By the end of this video, you'll understand why the smell keeps returning, and you'll have a complete toolkit to stop it for good. Let's start with the part nobody explains at the vet's office. In small animal dermatology, a persistent strong odor is almost never simply how a dog smells. It's a signal. 9 times out of 10, that smell traces back to an underlying allergy, whether it's a reaction to a certain protein in their food or something environmental like pollen, dust, or grass. When a dog's immune system reacts to an allergen, it triggers low-grade inflammation across the entire surface of the skin. That inflammation weakens what's called the skin barrier, the thin protective layer that normally keeps things in balance. Once that barrier is compromised, yeast and bacteria that are always present in small amounts on healthy skin suddenly have the perfect environment to multiply rapidly. That sour, funky smell you're noticing is quite literally the smell of an overgrown colony of yeast and bacteria feeding on inflamed, damaged skin. Here's the detail that most grooming products conveniently leave out. A dog with a healthy, balanced skin microbiome typically has little to no noticeable odor. A dog in that condition usually only needs a full bath once every 4 to 6 weeks. So when you're bathing an itchy, smelly dog every few days with a heavily fragranced commercial shampoo, you're stripping away the natural oils that protect their skin. The body panics, overproduces oil to compensate, the yeast population explodes again, and within 48 to 72 hours the smell is back, sometimes stronger. The fix isn't more washing, it's rebalancing. It also helps to know exactly what you're up against. The organism most commonly responsible for that stale, corn chip-like smell is a yeast called Malassezia. It's naturally present on every dog's skin in small numbers, and under normal conditions it causes 0 problems. But give it warmth, moisture, and inflamed tissue to feed on, and its population can multiply many times over within just a few days. That's why the smell always seems to concentrate in certain spots: the ears, the paws, the neck folds, and the belly, because those are the warmest, dampest parts of your dog's body. If you've ever noticed your dog's paws smelling almost exactly like corn chips or popcorn, that's not a coincidence. It's the specific chemical byproduct of this yeast, breaking down oils on the skin's surface. Recognizing that this is a living, growing organism, rather than just an accumulation of dirt, is the first step toward actually solving the problem instead of just perfuming over it. So let's get into the first practical step, and it starts in your kitchen, not your bathroom cabinet. Grab a bottle of plain white or apple cider vinegar. Vinegar has been used in folk veterinary medicine for generations because of one simple property: it's acidic, and acidic environments are hostile to the yeast species responsible for that odor. Here's the exact ratio I recommend. Combine equal parts vinegar and cool filtered water, so 1 cup of vinegar to 1 cup of water in a spray bottle. Never apply vinegar to your dog undiluted, as the acidity can irritate healthy skin. Once mixed, spray or gently sponge the solution across your dog's coat, paying close attention to the areas where yeast tends to concentrate: the ears, the paws, the belly, and any skin folds if you have a wrinklier breed. One important safety note: never apply this rinse over open sores, hot spots, or broken skin, since the acidity will sting and can slow healing. Only use it on intact skin. Let the solution sit for about 8 to 10 minutes, so it has time to shift the surface pH. Then rinse thoroughly with plain, cool water. The vinegar scent fades quickly as the coat dries, and it takes that stale, sour odor with it. If your dog's skin looks particularly red, flaky, or irritated, there's a slightly stronger version of this rinse worth trying. Brew a cup of green tea and let it cool completely to room temperature. Green tea is rich in polyphenols, which have a calming, anti-inflammatory effect on irritated tissue. Mix that cooled tea in equal parts with your vinegar solution, so roughly a third tea, a third vinegar, and a third water, and apply it the same way. This combination tackles both the yeast overgrowth and the underlying redness at the same time. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Dr. Ryan Scott, my dog just rolled in something unspeakable in the backyard. I have no choice but to give them a full bath. Fair enough. When you genuinely need to bathe your dog, skip the shampoo aisle entirely and make your own instead. Here's a simple, gentle recipe using castile soap as your base. Castile soap is made from plant oils rather than synthetic detergents, so it cleans without completely destroying the skin's natural defenses. In a bottle, combine 1 tablespoon of liquid castile soap with 2 cups of warm water. Add 4 drops of lavender essential oil and 4 drops of chamomile essential oil. Lavender has mild antimicrobial properties, and chamomile is known for soothing irritated skin. Shake well before each use, since the oils will naturally separate from the water. This gives you a gentle, natural wash that cleans the coat without stripping away the oils your dog's skin needs to stay balanced. Before we move on, let's quickly talk about diet, because for a lot of dogs, food is the hidden trigger behind all of this. If your dog is eating a diet with a lot of fillers, artificial preservatives, or a protein source they happen to be sensitive to, chicken and beef are 2 of the most common culprits. Their immune system stays in a low, constant state of alert. That chronic low-grade reaction is often exactly what's fueling the skin inflammation we talked about earlier. If you've tried every topical remedy and the smell keeps returning within days, it's worth doing an 8 to 12-week elimination trial with a novel protein your dog hasn't eaten before, like duck, venison, or rabbit, paired with a single carbohydrate source. It's slow, it's not glamorous, but for a genuinely allergic dog, it can matter more than any shampoo or rinse ever will. Alright, we've covered how to manage the outside of the problem, but if we stop here, we're only treating half of it. Remember what we talked about at the start. The smell is a symptom of something happening beneath the surface, so we need to support the body internally as well. This is where diet and supplementation come in. The first internal step is actually the same ingredient we've already been using topically, but this time it goes into the food bowl. A small daily dose of apple cider vinegar taken orally is a long-standing holistic approach for helping normalize the body's internal pH and supporting a healthier skin environment from within. The general guideline many holistic practitioners follow is about half a teaspoon per 20 pounds of body weight, mixed directly into food once daily. So a 40-pound dog would get roughly 1 teaspoon. A word of caution here. Introduce this gradually. Some dogs have sensitive stomachs, and adding vinegar to their food too quickly can cause loose stool or make them turn their nose up at their bowl. Start with just a few drops for the first several days, then slowly work up to the full amount over about a week. The second internal piece is fighting inflammation directly, and for that, omega-3 fatty acids are essential. Fish oil is one of the most well-studied natural anti-inflammatories available for dogs, and it plays a direct role in rebuilding a stronger, healthier skin barrier over time. A reasonable daily maintenance dose is around 100 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA per 10 pounds of body weight, which for most dogs translates to roughly half a teaspoon of liquid fish oil per 20 pounds, given once a day with food. If your dog is in the middle of a particularly bad odor flare-up, you can safely increase to twice daily for about 10 to 14 days. Then taper back down to the regular single daily dose once things have calmed down. Now for the more advanced piece of this puzzle. And I want to be very careful and precise here, because this next remedy is powerful. Turmeric, specifically the active compound curcumin, has a well-documented natural anti-inflammatory effect that some holistic vets describe as a gentler, food-based alternative to short-term steroid use for calming severe skin flare-ups. It works by lowering the overall inflammatory response in the body, which in turn makes it much harder for yeast and bacteria to thrive on the skin's surface. Because turmeric is genuinely potent, there are strict guidelines around its use. First, this is meant for short bursts only, generally 5 to 7 days during the peak of a severe flare-up, not as an everyday supplement indefinitely. Second, dogs with any existing liver conditions, kidney disease, or those on blood-thinning medication should not be given turmeric without direct veterinary guidance, since it can interact with how the body processes certain drugs. If your dog is otherwise healthy, a standard holistic dose is about 1/8 of a teaspoon of turmeric powder per 10 pounds of body weight, mixed into food once daily, ideally alongside a small amount of healthy fat like coconut oil, since curcumin absorbs far better with fat present. 5 to 7 days at this dose, paired with the fish oil and oral vinegar we already talked about, is typically enough to knock out even a stubborn flare-up. One more piece I want to mention, because it ties everything together, is probiotics. A lot of what we've discussed so far focuses on killing off the excess yeast and bacteria, but just as important is repopulating the skin and gut with the beneficial microbes that keep things balanced in the first place. A daily dog-specific probiotic supplement, given with food, helps support a healthier gut lining, and a healthier gut is directly linked to calmer, less reactive skin. Think of it as the long-term maintenance step that keeps you from needing the vinegar rinses and turmeric bursts as often once the initial flare-up has cleared. Most dogs can stay on a daily probiotic indefinitely, since it's simply reinforcing the good bacteria that should already be there. So let's recap everything we've covered today, because it's a lot. We talked about why chronic odor almost always traces back to an underlying allergy and inflammation, not simple dirtiness. We built a topical vinegar rinse to rebalance the skin's surface, with a stronger green tea version for irritated cases. We created a gentle castile soap wash for the times a real bath is unavoidable. And we addressed the problem internally with oral vinegar, fish oil, and short-term turmeric for the toughest flare-ups. I know how discouraging it feels when you've tried everything and the smell just keeps coming back. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong, and it definitely doesn't mean your dog is just naturally stinky. Skin health is complicated, allergies are frustrating to pin down, and most commercial products are built to mask symptoms rather than solve them. What you're doing right now, taking the time to actually understand what's happening under your dog's fur, is exactly what a great pet parent looks like. If this video gave you a clear, real plan to finally deal with that odor, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach other frustrated pet owners who are stuck in the same shampoo cycle you were. Subscribe if you want more deep dives like this one, and drop a comment below telling me what your dog's version of that smell is like, and where on their body you notice it most. I read every single comment, and I love learning what all of your dogs are dealing with. Give your pup a big, guilt-free hug tonight, mix up that vinegar rinse when you get the chance, and I'll see you in the next one.